You guys know that I like to doodle my own Pokemon sprites to use in my Pokemon Go videos, and I have ended up with a huge folder of them, but you know, the meta's changing, so I guess this is useless. I'm just gonna throw it away. Don't need them anymore. And I'll just get rid of this as well. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, just grab a coffee or some tea and sit back and relax because I'm just going to doodle some Pokemon sprites that I am going to use in my new videos for the upcoming season. And all of the Pokemon that I'm drawing today are Pokemon that got buffed in the most recent move updates. Also, I will be going over how they got buffed and where their place is in the meta. I should point out that not all of these Pokemon are going to be super top meta because most of the top meta Pokemon I have already drawn. For example, I've already drawn Feraligatr, I've already drawn Mandibuzz, so I don't have to draw those again. These are going to be Pokemon that I have not drawn yet, and I want to add to my collection so that I can use them in future videos. That being said, I think I need to get that folder out of the trash because I might need it. I don't usually post art videos on this channel. I just felt like it because I have a lot of sprites to draw and I felt like I just wanted to share the process with some of you guys. A lot of people have asked me about my process for editing my videos, and this is a very important part of my videos, so I wanted to share it with you guys. I also always envisioned myself having an art channel, but somehow I ended up with a Pokemon Go channel, so here we are. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I know it's a little bit off topic, but not really because I am going to be focusing on Pokemon Go and the PvP updates, obviously, because all of these Pokemon got move updates and they are going to have a very important part in the meta in the new season, which should be live by the time I post this video. I also want to point out really quickly, the doodles I make for my YouTube channel, I am not the most proud of. I've chosen this sort of doodly and sketchy style for this channel, and I kind of stick to it. But in reality, I actually have 2 degrees in fine arts, and I can draw a lot better than this, but I've chosen this style for this channel, and that is what I'm gonna go with and I'm going to stick to because it's super quick and I can get sprites done really quickly. You saw that folder, it has so many sprites in it, and I'm hoping to get through most of the Pokemon eventually, maybe all of them. I don't know. It's a little bit ambitious right now, but I'm definitely making progress towards that. Anyways, that's enough rambling from me. I have 5 different Pokemon that I doodled for this video. Let's go over them. First up, it is going to be Alolan Marowak. Now, here's the thing with Alolan Marowak. While yes, it did receive 2 buffs, I still don't think it's enough to make this Pokemon meta because I'm looking at the rankings on PvPoke, and all of the Pokemon that are ranked at the top of the list for the Great League all absolutely demolish Marowak, and I'm really afraid of the Mandibuzzes, the Carbinks, the Clodsires. They're all going to be very good against this thing. Also for Alligator. For Alligator is going to be insane this season. So for those of you who don't know, Marowak got a buff to its Fire-type fast move, which is Fire Spin, and it got a buff to its Ground-type charged move, which is Bone Club, and I believe this is a charge move that only Marowak has access to. So Kanto Marowak also got that buff. Now Kanto Marowak is ranked a lot higher than Alolan Marowak, but I felt like Alolan Marowak was a lot more exciting to draw, so for this video I have included the Alolan Marowak. I will of course be testing Kanto Marowak as well, but I am looking forward to seeing where Marowak is going to be in this meta. Like I said, I'm super afraid of the Mandibuzzes. I feel like they are just going to absolutely destroy this thing. But this Pokemon in particular is one that is a favorite of many, and so many people are excited to see it come back. So hopefully we can make it work. For this sprite, I ended up making 3 different versions of it. I have a normal one, a shiny one, and a Shadow Alolan Marowak because for some reason I have all 3 builds. I used to use it a lot a long time ago, and I still have them, and I am really excited to use it again this season. Alright, this next Pokemon is the one Pokemon I was looking forward to the most, but we have a little problem. I completely forgot that there are evolution requirements for Pangoro. And I was checking my Pokemon inventory yesterday because I wanted to build a Pangoro, but guess what? I don't have a Pancham that can evolve because I need to catch 32 dark types. So today, this morning, I literally got up at 5 a.m. I went outside in the dark. It was still dark outside. There were no lights on, and I went hunting for dark types. I managed to get a few so I went out at 5 a.m. I came back at like 7 a.m. and I managed to come back with only 15, I think, or 16 dark types. I was only finding like Carvanhas, Inkays, Purloins in the wild. So I thought I might have been okay, and I was planning to go back out in the evening to hunt for more dark types. Here's the problem. At 10 a.m., the spawns changed and we got the new Galar Pokemon, Scorbunny, Sobble, Grookey. But I really needed dark types, so I went out and I couldn't find a single dark type. I think I found one Sneasel in the wild, but that was it. And it's not looking like I'm going to have this Pokemon ready for the first day, at least the first day of Great League for the new season. Hopefully I'll have it ready in a couple of days. We'll see. I might have to raid some dark types, but my goodness, this was one that I was super, super excited for. And I just felt so disappointed in myself because I never prepared a Pancham. I should have done that, but that's totally on me. I completely forgot that this has an evolution requirement. So yeah, if you're seeing this video, probably buddy your Pancham and start catching those dark types. Unlike the other Pokemon which received buffs to moves that they could learn, Pangoro got buffed because it can now learn Karate Chop, and Karate Chop can now generate more energy, which means Pangoro is going to be able to reach Night Slash in 4 Karate Chops. Karate Chop is a 2-turn fast move, so it is going to be taking 8 turns for Pangoro to reach that Night Slash, and a total of 10 turns to reach close combat, because it can reach close combat in 5 Karate Chops, which is absolutely insane. I cannot recall, actually, other than Night Slash on Kanto Marowak, which I believe was able to reach Night Slash in 4 Mudshots. I cannot recall any other Pokemon that has been able to reach Night Slash that quickly. Obstagoon and Annihilate always took 5 counters. So this thing is going to be so spammy. My goodness, I cannot wait to use it. I am so sad I am not going to have it ready from day 1, but I am expecting myself to have it ready in like a couple of days. And this is one of those Pokemons that is going to be useful in both the Great League and the Ultra League. In Ultra League, it is going to be performing really well against those ghost types. Again, this is one of the reasons why when I was talking about Marowak, I was really worried about dark types because a lot of dark types were buffed. But if we do end up seeing a lot of ghost types, then we'll start seeing more dark types, and Pangoro is going to do really well against both of them because it's fighting typing. It could be super effective against the dark types, and then of course its dark typing will be super effective against the ghost types. So we'll probably see a huge rise in fairies, because another fairy that is getting buffed, and I have on my list right now, Clefable, is going to be everywhere. Now, I just wanted to talk about one thing about this Pokemon is it's a little bit difficult to get, because if you hatch one from a 12 km egg, it will be too high for Great League. So you have to catch one in the wild in order to get one that's low enough for Great League. And the one that I have is a rank 29 that I managed to catch from GoFest in 2022. I believe Panchams were spawning in the wild, but very rarely in one of the past seasons. It might have been last season even. I can't remember the last time I saw one in the wild, but it is going to be one that is slightly more difficult to get. Anyways, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the drawing. This is a little bit more out of my comfort zone because I wasn't sure if I wanted to make it cute or make it look more like itself. So I went more with making it look like itself, not so cute. But then I put a little blushy because I couldn't help myself. I had to make it cute. Yep. Speaking of Clefable, up next, I have Clefable for you guys. And I'm so surprised I have never drawn Clefable before, which means I've never featured it on my channel, which makes sense because I haven't really used this Pokemon in Open Great League and Open Ultra League in the past. I've used it mostly in Show 6 Pick 3 formats like Sylph and Battle Frontier because it performs a lot better in those limited metas. But that's about to change because like Marowak, this thing got 2 buffs as well. Fairy Wind was buffed, it now does more damage, and Swift was buffed, it now requires less energy, which means Clefable is going to be able to reach Swift in just 4 Fairy Winds, making it super spammy, whereas in the past it has only had access to those big moves that required a lot of energy like Meteor Mash, Moonblast, Psychic. So now it's going to be, I fear, a little bit annoying, especially in the Ultra League where it is pretty bulky. It's going to be bulky and it's going to do a lot of damage because that Moonblast also, if it lands on most Pokemon, it will get them into the yellow or even into the red. So this is what I'm worried about, but also excited about. It is going to be top meta in both the Great League and the Ultra League. It's very cute. It's always been one of my favorite Pokemon. Clefable, I think, might have been the first Pokemon I ever built for PvP. I remember back then you had to max it to level 40 to use it in Ultra League. And I remember maxing one to 40. That wasn't really good, but I used it anyway, and I used it with Charm back then, and I absolutely loved it. So happy it's making a comeback, but at the same time, I feel like this is going to be the new Greedent, where you know how Greedent is like bulky and spammy and everyone found it annoying? Yeah, this is what Clefable is going to become. I feel like everyone is going to absolutely hate seeing this in their games. But hey, at least it's an easy Pokemon to build. Everyone's going to have it. Good luck. The next Pokemon I have for you guys is Dusknoir, and this is one where my hoarding has actually paid off because I have been keeping so many Duskulls and Dusknoirs, and I haven't ever used them for anything. I have considered many times transferring them, but I decided not to. I decided to hold on to them, and I had a bunch that were really good PvP IV. But finally, we might see this have a place in the meta because Astonish, its ghost type fast move, got buffed. It now does a lot more damage, and it got access to Shadow Punch, which is a ghost type charge attack that is very low energy, so it should be able to get to them really quickly. Now here's the problem with this Pokemon. Its recommended moveset is fully ghost type. Its recommended moveset is Astonish as a fast move, and Shadow Punch and Shadow Ball as its charge moves. And that's why I said might become meta, because even though right now it's ranked really highly on PvPoke, especially in the Ultra League, we need to remember that Sucker Punch got buffed, and Sucker Punch is a dark type move, so a lot of dark types that have access to Sucker Punch are now going to be more viable, like Galarian Moltres. We also have Mandibuzz, which is going to be very common in the meta, and of course Pangoro, which all absolutely well Dusknoir. And something I forgot to talk about when I was talking about Alolan Marowak is that there's a lot of normal types that were also buffed this season, or that became more viable because of the move updates. And some of them include, of course, Dunsparce and Licky Licky. And with those in the meta more often, then we have more chances of this Pokemon with a full ghost type moveset getting walled, which is why I really worry about running a Pokemon with a full moveset that is only one typing, because you come up against the Pokemon that resist that typing, then you can't really do anything. I really wish it had another move that could cover for its weaknesses, but it doesn't. We'll have to see how it goes. But it is going to be strong if it doesn't line up against a dark type or a normal type. The only move that this thing has access to that is going to do at least neutral damage to a dark type is return. So if you get a shadow one and you purify it and you have that return, then maybe you can make it work, but return takes forever to reach it, especially with a fast move like Astonish. So I wouldn't recommend that, but the other charge moves that it has access to include Psychic and Dark Pulse. And I mean, what are those going to do? Psychic first of all. Terrible move at the moment. And Dark Pulse, again, resisted by dark types. So that's my thoughts on Dusknoir. We'll have to see. And finally, last but not least, we have Yveltal, and this one surprised me the most with how good it is going to be in the Open Master League this season. I was looking at Yveltal's matchups in my previous video where I showed you guys all the move updates, and I was surprised to find out that with the Sucker Punch change, it now does enough damage to beat Dialga in the one shield, and it doesn't even need Focus Blast. It just needs to land a Dark Pulse, and then the Sucker Punches will be enough to KO the Dialga. This was super surprising to me, and it was a very positive surprise because, like I said in my previous Master League video, I do not have a lot of Pokemon built for this cup. It is very expensive, it's very difficult for me to get legendaries and max them out. But guess who has a hundo? I do! And Yveltal was one of those Pokemon that I just got by chance. I was not hunting for the hundo. I wasn't even trying to max one out. But I'll tell you guys the story of how I got it. It was before remote raids got nerfed. Remote raids were so cheap and you could do as much as you wanted every day. Which, you know, good times. But basically my friend had invited me to a Yveltal raid. And I thought, why not? I'll just throw our remote pass and we'll do this raid. I wasn't even trying to get a hundo at this point. I wasn't really interested in Master League. But I got the hundo. And at this point, I think I had only done like 10, 15 raids for Yveltal. And then I was like, oh, I got the hundo. Maybe I should try maxing this out. So I was able to get enough Excel candies for it. I built it. I tested it out in Master League a few times. It was pretty disappointing. And I have had it ever since. But now it's going to be top meta. We're talking top 3 on PvPoke for the Master League. And I am really looking forward to using this. Of course, we know that Landorus got nerfed, and Landorus was one of those Pokemons that I built last season. Unfortunately, I finally decided to build one and they went and they nerfed it. So I lost Landorus, but I gained Yveltal. But I guess that's okay. But I am expecting to see a lot of fairy types in the coming season because the 3 Pokemon at the top of the tier list are Yveltal, Zygarde, and Palkia, and you're gonna need something to beat all of those. So I'm expecting a lot of Double Fury lineups, and I'm really hoping that if I run Yveltal, I'm not going to be switch locked against a fairy type, because if I am, it is going to be disastrous. At least it has Oblivion Wing to hit back. But still, I get really worried about those fairy types, especially now. A lot of people have Primarina because we had Primarina Community Day and it has access to Hydro Cannon, and my goodness, everything is changing. Now, I don't know if Yveltal is going to be useful in any of the other leagues. I saw that it was ranked pretty decently in the Ultra League. It was like top 150s. So not that decent, but it might have some niche uses in the Ultra League, especially if you are a Show 6 Pick 3 player. So like for Battle Frontier, it might be useful. But Galarian Moltres is still going to be the better choice for that Sucker Punch buff in the Ultra League. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you think of this style of video. Would you like to see more? I'm trying to avoid art-related videos on this channel because I really want to have a separate channel for art, and I know a lot of people are not interested in this. My channel is very GBL heavy, and I don't want to shift it into something else. I really want to focus on GBL. And if I do want to post more art-related content, most likely it will come in the future on a second channel. However, I felt like this was very relevant to my content, so I decided to share it with you guys. I might, if I want to draw sprites in the future, I might consider live streaming the drawing. That way we can kind of chill and talk about the meta, talk about PvP while I live stream. So let me know if that is something you guys would be interested in, or if you guys just find this boring, then I'll just go back to the normal GBL uploads. Thank you so much for watching. If you like my content, be sure to subscribe, maybe leave a like, it helps me out so much. And I will see you guys in my next video, which I am going to be posting really soon because the new season just started and I have a lot to cover. Bye bye!